No respect, Spalding, Bear Woman Broadcasting. One quick question. Christ making the remark, the blind leading the blind, both then end up in the ditch. Has anything changed in society since that remark at all, and anywhere, especially internationally, nationally, philosophy, anything? And was he always referring to something before his own time when he spoke about the foolishness of the events in his own time? More than predict what would happen because of it. And he did have he didn't use the word prediction. Jesus wouldn't predict, from what I understand the guy. Only I'll tell you what he would do. He'd remind you of the inevitable. It's not the same as a prediction. Because the inevitable has room to adjust and not be the inevitable. He always gave you the room to adjust the inevitable. Only when you won't, this is inevitable. Now, if you will, of course, you can adjust that, and who really knows the wonderful outcome? Because you're laying on a gold mine of wonderful outcomes. And the inevitable wouldn't be around at all. When you won't, the inevitable comes, and the gold mines that you wouldn't do remain untouched for the next generation to witness the obvious and evidence of and use somehow. And when they back up, they're the same. They've been here for always and nothing ever changes. They're the loveliness of humanity that we're working with to start with. And as far as I'm concerned, it's inevitable that sooner or later that will get a hold. I've had newspaper editors tell me, never happened. Laugh at me. And then die in prostitution, sneaking. At work said that his wit could never happen everywhere. And there was nothing wrong with the man's wit. And I told him that you're playing dumb to keep your job. I can tell how you respond to my remarks. He'd hang up on me. And died having sex. So I know I was correct with that man, absolutely. And I know in my character evaluation he was correct also. He was a wonderful man, lying at work to hold his job. Which a lot of wonderful men do. They sure do. The wonderful women. Especially in the newspaper business. And they pass on a skeptical story that's not so. Yes, they do. And they know it. Because they don't live that skeptical story at all. And they sneak around to make sure they don't. Yes, they do. So you keep that well in mind, that there's examples everywhere how priceless life is. The assets are everywhere. And instead of sneaking around and holding your job being a dummy, celebrate those assets and live them. Simple as that. And it's very simple. It really is home to home, house to house. You start with the awareness in your mind and how you can keep that conversation compared to everything going on. Very, very important. Stay enlightened. You came that way. Die that way.